Fiza had always been the kind of girl who blended gentleness with quiet strength. At 19, she was in her second year of college studying psychology, dreaming of becoming someone who could help people heal their brokenness. She never imagined she would soon face her own darkness, a darkness so deep that healing would turn into vengeance. Her life was simple. She lived with her widowed mother, Shabana, in a modest apartment. Money was tight, but love was abundant. Every day, Fiza walked to college with her closest friend, Rania, the only person who truly understood her heart. But college wasn't peaceful for everyone. Fiza had caught the eye of a group who saw her not as a person, but as an obstacle. There were 4 of them, the competitor gang, as students secretly called them. They were influential, arrogant, and ruthless, led by a boy named Ayan. His ego was as big as his father's business empire, and he hated failure more than anything. The problem began when Fiza participated in an inter-college presentation competition. Ayan expected to win easily, but Fiza outshined everyone with her confidence, her calm tone, and her powerful message about mental strength. She won the trophy and unknowingly won Ayan's hatred. He felt humiliated. His friends whispered, "Bro, a girl beat you. You'll be a joke if you don't do something." Humiliation turned into obsession. Obsession turned into revenge. And Ayan started plotting. The week after the competition, Fiza began noticing strange things. A black car parked near her college gate. Every day, a boy standing behind the cafeteria pretending to smoke, but staring at her. Her Instagram DMs filled with messages from unknown accounts. "You should have stayed in your limits. Winning doesn't suit you. You'll pay for this." She ignored them. She thought it was childish harassment. She never told her mother. She didn't want to worry her, but danger was already closing in. The day everything changed. It was a windy Thursday afternoon. Fiza finished her class and walked out, her bag hanging loosely from one shoulder. She texted Rania, "Going home early today. See you tomorrow." But Rania never got another message from her after that. Fiza stepped out of the college gate, and before she could even take a breath of fresh air, 2 hands grabbed her from behind. One covered her mouth, another wrapped around her waist like iron. Her phone slipped and fell on the pavement, screen cracking. She tried to scream, but a cloth pressed against her face, soaked in chloroform. Her vision blurred, voices echoed. "Quick, move her. Don't let anyone see her face." The boss said no marks on her. The world dimmed. Her heartbeat pounded like thunder in her ears. She felt herself being dragged, lifted, shoved into a vehicle, and then darkness. Fiza woke up to cold cement touching her cheek, thought her hands were tied, her legs restrained. A single dim light flickered in the corner of the basement. The air smelled of damp walls, mold, and danger. She tried to move, but the ropes cut into her wrists. A voice came from behind her. So the princess finally woke up. Her stomach twisted. Ayan stepped forward, hands in pockets, wearing a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "You humiliated me," he said calmly. "Okay? And people don't get away with that." Fiza's voice trembled. "Let me go, please." "Let you go," he laughed. "No, no, no. You're staying here until I'm satisfied." His friends stood behind him, grinning, proud of their cruelty. One of them recorded her on a phone. Another inspected the ropes. Aya and crouched down and lifted her chin. "You should have remembered your place." A tear slipped from Fiza's eye, but her gaze remained steady. Inside her heart, fear slowly began to melt into something else. A spark, a fire, a silent promise. This would not break her. This would not end her. If she survived, she would rise, and they would fall. Back home, Shabana waited for her daughter to return, unaware that her world was already collapsing. When Fiza didn't arrive by sunset, she called her friends. No one had seen her. Rania panicked when she found Fiza's cracked phone lying outside the college gate. Within hours, the entire neighborhood was searching. Posters printed, social media flooded with #FindFiza. But Ayan and his boys were careful. They left no trail, no witnesses, no evidence. Or so they thought, because fate has a way of protecting the innocent, and fate was about to open a door. A door that would begin the downfall of the wicked. Hours turned into days. Days turned into weeks. Every moment inside that basement carved something new into Fiza. Not weakness, not despair, but resolve. Pain sharpened her. Darkness hardened her. Fear transformed her. She studied their patterns, their footsteps, their arguments, their weaknesses. Ayan thought he had captured a frightened girl, but what he truly captured was the storm that would destroy him, and the revenge that was coming for him would be greater than anything he had ever imagined. Fiza had lost count of the days. The basement had no window, no sunlight, no sense of time. Only the dim bulb that flickered every few hours and the slow drip of water leaking from a pipe. She hadn't seen her mother. She hadn't breathed fresh air. Her stomach burned from hunger, and her lips were cracked from thirst. Ayan and his friends visited her daily, sometimes to threaten her, sometimes to intimidate her, sometimes just to remind her that she was powerless. But what they didn't know, what they could never know, was that each visit gave her more information. Every insult sharpened her resolve. Every bruise lit a new fire inside her. She was not breaking, she was transforming. Ayan's gang had 4 members besides him: Rizwan, the loudmouth; Faris, the silent follower; Hadi, the impulsive one; and Yasser, the one who looked uncomfortable every time he entered the basement. Yasser was different. He was afraid, nervous. His voice shook when he spoke. He didn't like hurting people, and Fiza noticed. One night, when Ayan and the others left early after arguing among themselves, Yasser stayed behind to fix the ropes around her wrists. He tried not to look at her face, but the moment his eyes met hers, he flinched. Her eyes weren't broken, they were burning, and guilt hit him like a punch. You should stop looking at me like that," he whispered. "Why?" Fiza's voice was faint, but steady. "Does it remind you that I'm human?" He froze. His hands trembled. "You don't understand," he muttered. "They'll kill me if I help you. They already killed who you were." She replied softly, "Now you have to choose who you want to be." Those words dug into him, deep, heavy. When Yasser left, he didn't close the basement door properly. He was cracking. And Fiza knew a crack was all she needed to escape. Outside, the world had not forgotten Fiza. Her mother cried every night. Rania kept searching every street. Posters with Fiza's face covered college walls and markets. Students began protesting. Hashtags trended. Journalists arrived at the campus. But still, no clue. What no one knew was that the answers were hidden in a house on the outskirts. A house whose windows were always shut, whose garden was unmaintained, whose basement held a girl with fire in her eyes. One afternoon, Fiza pretended to faint. Hadi panicked. Rizwan mocked. Faris kept scrolling his phone. Ayan rolled his eyes and kicked a chair. "She's pretending," he said. But Yasser. He rushed to her side. His fingers hovered near her pulse. "She's not breathing right, Ayan. She might actually die." "So what?" Ayan scoffed. "Let her. Who's going to blame us? We'll dump her somewhere." It was that sentence, the casual cruelty, that shattered Yasser's loyalty. His face hardened for the first time. His voice cracked, not from fear, but anger. "You're not a leader. You're a monster." Ayan turned sharply. "What did you just say?" But Yasser didn't answer. He turned his back and stormed out. Later that night, when everyone was sleeping, the basement door creaked open. Yasser entered with a bottle of water, a piece of bread, and trembling hands. "Eat quietly," he whispered. "If they find out, they won't," Fiza said. "And thank you." She drank slowly, her eyes never leaving his face. "You're not like them." Yasser swallowed. "I don't want to be here anymore, but I don't know how to fix this." "Help me escape," she said gently. "Let me end this." He froze again. Fear and courage fought inside him. "You'll kill them." He whispered. "I'll expose them," she replied. "I'll make sure they never hurt anyone again." Her voice was calm, certain, a promise. And Yasser knew she meant it. He nodded. Tomorrow, he said. I'll distract them. You run? But Destiny had other plans. The next day was supposed to be the day. Yasser planned everything. When Ferris would go to collect groceries, when Hadi would be playing games, when Rizwan would be asleep, when Ayan would leave for the gym, but fate intervened. Ayan didn't leave that day. He stayed home. Furious after hearing rumors at college that the police had started tracking suspicious vehicles, he paced the living room, angry, unpredictable, at the worst possible moment. He decided to check the basement. Fiza heard footsteps approaching, heavy, fast, furious. Panic surged through her. Yasser wasn't here yet. Her ropes were half loosened. She was not ready. The lock clicked. Ayan stepped in. His eyes immediately narrowed. You've been working the ropes, he growled. Fiza said nothing. He stepped forward, grabbed her jaw and forced her face upward. You think you can escape? You think you're smart? You're nothing. She stared directly into his eyes and smiled, a slow, icy smile. You're the one who's afraid, she whispered. Not me. Ayan slammed her back against the wall, rage exploding across his face. You'll regret ever challenging me, he spat. But what he didn't know was that someone was listening at the door, someone whose loyalty had already crumbled, someone who was done being silent. Yasser clenched his fists outside, trembling with fear and guilt and an anger he never knew he had. He knew now he would not just help Fiza escape. He would help her bring Ayan down. And that decision would change everything. Yasser's hands wouldn't stop shaking. He stood outside the basement door, listening to Ayan shouting at Fiza, threatening her, belittling her, calling her names he had no right to say. Every word felt like a slap against Yasser's conscience. This had gone far beyond a mistake. This was cruelty. This was crime. This was something he could never undo unless he acted now. He gripped the key in his pocket, sweat coating his palms. His heartbeat thudded in his throat. Tonight? It had to be tonight. If he waited even an hour longer, Ayan might kill her, and Yasser had already crossed the line. He could no longer turn back. Inside, Ayan grabbed Fiza by the hair, jerking her head back. You think you're brave? He hissed. Say one more word and I'll let go of me. Her voice was sharp, steady, fearless. Ayan shoved her against a pillar so hard her shoulder cracked against the concrete. For the first time, she winced, and that tiny reaction, that flicker of pain, gave Ayan the sick satisfaction he craved. You're nothing without your voice, he whispered, and soon no one will even remember you existed. But he didn't know something important. People already remembered. The protests outside were growing. Journalists had begun asking questions. Police had visited the campus, collecting statements, studying footage. Her mother had gone to the media in tears. Ayan had no idea how close the world was to discovering the truth, and he couldn't imagine what was coming for him. He lifted his hand to strike her again, and suddenly the basement door slammed open. Yasser burst inside. His chest heaved. His face was pale, but his eyes were burning. Ayan, stop. Ayan stared at him, stunned. What the hell is your problem? You're going to kill her. Yasser's voice cracked. I won't let you. Ayan's jaw tensed. You won't let me. Have you forgotten who you're talking to? I'm done following you, Yasser said, voice firmer now. This is wrong. Ayan walked slowly toward him, rage boiling in his eyes. Say it again. Done, Yasser repeated. I won't be part of this anymore. Ayan laughed a sharp, cruel sound. So what then? You'll free her. Yasser's silence was the only answer needed. Ayan lunged. They crashed into each other, punches flying, bodies slamming against the wall. A metal shelf toppled over. Fiza watched, heart racing, still tied, but the rope loose enough to wriggle. Ayan was stronger, but Yasser was desperate. He blocked a punch, grabbed the metal rod from the fallen shelf, and swung. It hit Ayan's shoulder with a painful crack. Ayan staggered back. "You ungrateful coward," he roared. But Yasser didn't wait. He ran to Fiza, fumbling with the ropes. Come on," he whispered, fingers trembling. "We need to go now." Ayan charged again. Fiza reacted instantly. Her ropes fell free, and she grabbed the same metal rod Yasser had used. Ayan froze as he saw her stand for the first time in days, bruised, exhausted, but unbroken. "You should have never touched me," she said. Her voice was cold, steady, deadly. Ayan lunged. Fiza swung. The rod connected with his jaw, sending him crashing to the ground for the first time. Ayan looked afraid. Yasser grabbed her wrist. "We don't have time, Fiza. The others will come back any minute." She nodded. "Let's go." They ran up the stairs. Every step burned. Every breath hurt. But Fiza felt alive and free and furious. The hallway was dark, lit only by the moon through dusty curtains. "Where are the others?" she whispered. "Rezwan went to town. Hattie is asleep. Ferris is on a call outside," Yasser said quickly. "If we go through the back." The front door suddenly rattled. Voices. Ferris. He was returning early. Yasser cursed under his breath. "He can't see you." Fiza grabbed his arm. "I'll hide. Guide me." They slipped behind a staircase, pressing themselves into the shadows as Ferris entered the house, humming carelessly. Scrolling his phone, he didn't even notice the open basement door. He walked past them. Fiza and Yasser darted toward the back door, but just as they reached it, the floor creaked. Ferris turned, his eyes widened. "Yasser, what the hell?" Fiza's heart thundered, but Yasser stepped forward. "It's over," he said quietly. "Let us go." Ferris blinked, then smirked. "You're helping her escape? You idiot." He reached into his pocket for his phone. "Or maybe something worse." Fiza reacted first. She kicked the door, slamming it into Ferris's hand, sending his phone flying. Ferris shouted in pain. "Run!" Yasser yelled. They sprinted out into the cold night air. The wind hit Fiza's face fresh, cold, beautiful. For the first time in days, she could breathe. Sirens wailed in the distance. Police, someone, must have reported the abandoned house. Or maybe fate was helping her. But her freedom was not the end. It was the beginning. Because Fiza wasn't just escaping, she was coming back for revenge. Rain poured as Fiza ran across the empty road, Yasser helping her stay on her feet. Every drop felt like it washed away the dust, the fear, the darkness she suffered. Sirens grew louder. Police cars slid to a stop, lights flashing red and blue. Officers jumped out, pointing flashlights. "Is that Fiza Sheikh?" She nodded, breathing hard. "They kidnapped me." Inside there are 4 men. Officers didn't waste a second. While paramedics wrapped a blanket around her shoulders, Fiza kept her eyes fixed on the abandoned house. She wanted to hear the screams. She wanted justice. Moments later, Jan burst out of the door, running. But police tackled him to the ground hard. He shouted, "Let me go. She's lying." Then he saw her. Fiza stood tall, bruised but unbroken. "Ayan," she said calmly, "enjoy your new life behind bars." His face drained with fear. Rizwan, Hattie, and Ferris were dragged out next, handcuffed, yelling excuses, begging. But it was too late. Everything was over. Everything except one thing. A week later, Fiza walked into the courtroom with her lawyer. News cameras flashed. Her story went viral nationwide. Students protested, demanding justice. Ayan was brought in, thin, rough-looking, eyes hollow. For the first time, he looked like the scared one. The judge read the charges: kidnapping, assault, torture, extortion, attempted trafficking, conspiration, swallowed hard. "Do you wish to say anything in your defense?" He glanced at Fiza. She stared back, calm, powerful. Ayan lowered his head. "No, I'm guilty." Whispers filled the courtroom. The judge didn't hesitate. "Ayan Malik, 25 years in prison." Fiza closed her eyes. Peace washed over her at last. Justice. Outside. Cameras crowded around her. A reporter asked, "Do you forgive Yasser, the man who helped you escape?" Fiza turned her head, seeing Yasser standing far away, hands in cuffs, eyes full of regret. He saved her life, but he still played a part. Fiza walked toward him slowly. He lowered his head. "Fiza, I'm sorry." She nodded. "You will face consequences, but remember your one brave decision saved me." Yasser's eyes filled with tears. Her words became the turning point of his future. Months passed. Fiza healed. Her scars faded. Her nightmares softened. Her courage grew. She returned to college not as a victim, but as a symbol of strength. She became an advocate for missing students, launching a foundation to help others. One day, after giving a speech, a journalist asked, "What do you want people to learn from your story?" Fiza smiled softly. That no enemy is stronger than truth. That no betrayal is deeper than courage. And no revenge is greater than justice. Applause filled the hall. Fiza walked off stage, sunlight falling on her face. Her story didn't end in fear. It ended in strength, in justice, in victory. Fiza won, always and completely.